Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam, Kamsa Chanoramardhanam, Devaki Paramanandam, Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्म विद्वरम्. Okay, Hari Om, Hare Krishna, welcome. We have two participants. Lakshmi Amma has had joined some 5 minutes back, and the other participant, can you please reveal your name? It's showing Lenovo, your phone name. The other participant with the name Lenovo TB328FU, who's that participant? Can we have your name, please? Okay, no issue. We'll get started. So the first sloka, last week we had the introduction of the Bhaja Govindam. We saw that Adi Shankaracharya, out of his compassion, who was none other than Lord Shiva, an avatar of Lord Shiva, out of his compassion for humanity, and especially in this Kali Yuga, when humanity is at a low ebb in terms of spirituality. Otherwise, we are progressing, we are doing great things. So technology and this and that and whatnot. But in terms of spirituality, we have been declining ever since Lord Krishna left the earth and went in end of Dwapar Yuga. The decline started, and Kali Yuga started at that point. And so at that when Adi Shankaracharya came, he tried to revive the Sanatan Dharma, which was at a low ebb at that time. And also there was a lot of confusion in Sanatan Dharma. And Sanatan Dharma was very limited to forms and symbols and only Saguna Brahman. And nobody had clear idea or knowledge about Brahman, the reality of which the Saguna Brahman and all that, so the confusion was there at that time. And so Adi Shankaracharya came and gave a clear exposition of the entire Advaita Vedanta philosophy, the breadth of it and the depth of it, and composed several works to awaken humanity to its potential, spiritual potential. One such work, as we discussed last time, is Moha Mudgara or Bhaja Govindam. Bhaja Govindam is also known as Moha Mudgara because essentially we are trying to develop Vairagya. The main central objective of Bhaja Govindam is to develop Vairagya, to have an understanding of the reality of this world appearance, that it's so temporary, and everything in this world, the pleasures are temporary and finite, the wealth that we accumulate is temporary and finite and will be snatched away at any time. The fact that the death can come at any time, the fact that everything we achieve in this world is temporary, nothing stays with us, and nothing can be taken with us, and we cannot take anything and go with us. But the one thing that will stay with us throughout, even in the next life, we will continue to possess that wealth. That is the spiritual wealth, the wealth of devotion. And that is what Adi Shankaracharya is trying to help us develop, that devotion towards the Lord, such that we revive our joyful state of consciousness. Our nature is joy, our nature is happiness, our nature is bliss and ananda and all that. And for that, as we discussed in the last class, two things are necessary in the spiritual journey: abhyas and vairagya. Abhyas, as I told last time, is basically you have Jnana Yoga Abhyas, Karma Yoga Abhyas, and Bhakti Yoga Abhyas, and Ashtanga Yoga Abhyas, basically, and Vairagya. And through the study of the Bhaja Govindam, we are only trying to do one main thing: to develop Vairagya. Because as we discussed last time also, and as Tapovan Maharaj says, without Vairagya, there can be no Brahma Jnana. So that we have to be clear about. So we will get into the text now, and I will start with the first verse. I'll just chant it. If you want, you can join me in the chanting, and then I will go into the explanation. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Samprapte sannihite kale nahi nahi rakshati dukram karane. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Bhaja Govindam very simply means worship Govinda. But it is beyond just what we understand as worship Govinda. For us, for many of us, it could be, not us, maybe not be devotees, but normally the conventional, if you ask a person, a lay person on the road, you catch him and you tell him, come on, tell me, what do you mean by worship the Lord, worship? Do you worship God? He'll say, yes, yes, I worship God. Okay, what do you do? He will say, no, after I get up in the morning, I do my bath and all that, I do my puja, and then I go to office, and in the evening, if time permits, I go to the temple and I do one pradakshina around the deity and I take prasad and I come. So that is our limitation of bhaja in worship. We think worship is just that, only the ritualistic aspect of it. But bhaja is a very deep word. Bhaja actually also means sharing. Bhaja means to share what is in your heart. Bhaja, share what is it that you have in your heart. The Lord is waiting for us to express ourselves to Him. He has everything. The Lord has it all. In fact, Paramahansa Yogananda, one famous quote of Paramahansa Yogananda is, the Lord has everything, but there is one thing which even the Lord doesn't have, and that is man's love. That is one thing even God doesn't have, man's love, that God will get only if we give it to God. If we choose to give God, then only God will get that. So God is, whether you say Krishna or Shiva or Ganesha or Murga or whichever form we are worshipping the same Paramatma in, they are waiting for that only. We should express ourselves entirely, our devotion to Him, to them, and thereby reach them. Because the more we think of something, the more we dwell on something, we become that to the extent that we identify. So Bhaja Govindam, Adi Shankaracharya is asking us to identify ourselves with Bhagwan and Bhagwan related matters so much that we actually gravitate after our death. We don't loiter around in this earthly realm or go to Swarga, Narga and all that. We gravitate to the abode of the Lord because how we are so satiated with the Lord's name and the Lord's form, the Lord's qualities. The Bhakti is so deep in us that we have no choice. We will go there only. We will go to the abode of the Lord only. So Bhaja Govindam is not merely ritualistic worship, worship Govinda, worship Govinda. That is the way we translate it. But really it means, as Gurudev has put, if you see the book by Gurudev, he has said, seek Govinda, seek Govinda. Now, as I said, worship is one thing. Then normally the conventional meaning of worship is the ritualistic. The puja, the bhakti, the mandir mein you do, you clean you decorate the deity. All that is good. It's a nice thing. It's a good starting point. But that is not the exhaustive thing of gamut of bhaja. Bhaja means seek, as Gurudev has put here. Seek Govinda. And seeking involves a lot. Seeking is much more than just worshipping. In fact, Swami Mitrananda ji repeatedly in many of his pravachans, I've heard him say this. He says, you can never be a part-time seeker. Seeking is a full-time job. There is no such thing. Even Swami Tejamananda says the same thing. There is no such thing as part-time seeker or part-time seeking. Seeking is a full-time thing, something we have to do all the time. We get up in the morning, we are brushing our teeth. Why waste that time? And mentally we can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, and keep brushing. Anyway, it's a mundane activity. We don't need some concentration. We're not doing a surgery or something, right? We're just brushing our teeth. When having a bath, just mentally chant or verbally chant whatever when we are having our breakfast, before having the meals, just say a short Brahmarpanam Brahma, however you say that shloka, or just say, "Oh Lord, I offer this to you, and then I please partake it as prasad, as Naivedya, and give it to me as prasad, return to me as prasad. Thank you, O Lord, for providing this meal." Some small prayer, and then we can start our meal. And while we are eating, also instead of watching some reels on net, watching some Netflix and this and that, we can maybe watch something spiritual, maybe some spiritual videos, or we can think of the Lord that way. We can remember Him, and so whatever we are doing amidst all our activities, as much as possible, we should try to remember the Lord. Because as I said, seeking is not something, morning I spend half an hour for it, and but the rest of the day I've forgotten God. No. That's what Lord Krishna also tells. I don't know the Sanskrit part of it. He says, engage in your duty of fighting, but also remember me at the same time. Also remember me, don't forget me. The more you remember me, the more you have a chance of coming back to me, the Lord tells Arjuna, and we all recognize the importance of that. So so then during the day, well, let's say when we are sitting in the car and we are not in the driver's seat, we are in the passenger seat. What are we doing? We're looking outside. We're looking at the same shops that we see when we go on our way to office. Let's say it takes half an hour to reach the office. Same shops, the same traffic, the same thing. And we are sitting in the passenger seat. We are not driving the car, for example, or we are going somewhere. Why just look around and have an idle mind and think all unnecessary things? At that time, mentally chant or verbally chant, or just play the bhajans in the car itself and identify with that which is playing. So we need to integrate all the activities in our life which we are doing with devotion. Devotion should be the flavor of everything, the seasoning, that in everything we have that one common thing in everything. Let's say when we are eating paneer butter masala, in the paneer butter masala also there is salt, in the chapati also there is salt, in the other thing also, the side of dish also there is salt, in everything there is salt. So like that, in everything we should pervade the Lord's devotion and devotion to the Lord. Whenever we get some free time, we're going for an evening walk in the park. Now we go walking in the park, what we'll be thinking in our mind? Instead of thinking, oh, this, that, and, having worries and anxiety or some other nonsense, better we think about the Lord. Oh, what was Gurudev saying in that talk of his in Vivek Chudami? Oh, what is this? What is the meaning of this? Do some contemplation. So when we satiate our lives entirely with Bhagwan and Bhagwan related things, then we are seeking Him. We are not merely worshipping. We are bringing Him into every aspect of our life. When we are in working also, let's say we are working in some call center or BPO or software company, and we are having a 15-minute break, we are having a coffee at that time. There are people normally, especially when I used to work in call centers in my 20s, I remember the crowd there was very, all non-devotee. You'll hardly find a devotee there. And they're all talking all rubbish and, what sort of, this, sometimes it's also negative things. So better in that time, just go to some corner and just chant the name and have your coffee or think about the Lord at that time also. So as much as possible, we should integrate Bhagwan into our lives. Everything we do. We are cooking, at that time we can remember Bhagwan. We are eating, we can remember Bhagwan. While doing our work, it becomes a bit challenging, because suppose we are doing something on the computer. Most of us these days, whether we are business people or we are freelancers or we are anything, majority of the professions these days are on the computer and phone and all that. So that time it becomes difficult to think of the Lord and chanting. So at that time we focus on doing the duty with the devotional bhava that I'm working for Narayana. This work that I'm doing is for Narayana. I may get money and not get money. I'm doing free seva. I'm doing it for it's a multi-million-dollar contract also that I've got recently. Doesn't matter. Let that money come. Let us prosper. But we should do it as an offering to the Lord. This project that I'm doing is for the Lord. Suppose I'm an architect, I must think this building that I'm going to design for my client is not for some client, it is for Narayana. I'm designing it for Narayana. So in everything we should integrate spirituality. And think about this way we can bring the Lord into our day-to-day activities 24 bar 7. We have finished the work, we are on the way back home. Remember the Lord, and we have come back home. Instead of watching, we can watch sometimes some serial. There's nothing wrong in that, but more so, it would be better to watch Vishnu Puran, Ramanand Sagar, Shri Krishna, or let us take up the book and read some commentary on Gita, this that, or attend some satsang. Like you people have come for the satsang. This is the correct. These are the kinds of engagements which will be beneficial for us. It is not that we are superior to somebody or inferior to somebody, but we are doing that which is beneficial for us and is going to take us towards the goal that we are looking for. We've been looking for this since many janmas. In fact, since Anadi Kala, all jivas are constantly looking for this only, knowingly or unknowingly. Paramahansa Yogananda says one thing. He says the whole world is on the spiritual path. We say devotee, non-devotee. I also just said that just now. But really speaking, he says, in one sense, the whole world is on the spiritual path. Because everybody is eventually going to come this way and is being led into this way, this path. And they also have some idea about, they must be thinking sometimes, kya yaar, roz kaam kar thak gaya ho, what is the purpose of all this? So that little bit curiosity is there in them also, in the so-called non-devotees also. So, Bhaja Govindam basically means not just worship Govinda, but seek him such that he becomes your preoccupation. Your entire life is revolving around Govinda, not our Hindi film actor Govinda, but the real Govinda. Right? And we should keep Krishna in the center. We should keep Shiva in the center. We should keep God in the center and then do our activities. So, as I said, in whatever we are doing, let us bring in that element of remembering the Lord. The more we remember him, the greater we have a chance of going back to him. In fact, in the Gita also, Krishna says, end of the 9th chapter, he closes with that. And towards the end of the 18th chapter also, he says, always, remember me always, worship me, prostrate before me, bow down before me. I promise you, you will come to me, for you are dear to me. Always remember me, he says. Constantly remember me. Worship me, be my devotee, be my worshipper, prostrate before me. I promise you, you will come to me, for you are dear to me. So this way, if we integrate Bhagavan into every aspect of our life and remember him as much as possible, we are increasing our chances of going back to him. Right. So now he's saying here, when the appointed time comes, death, grammar rules surely will not save you. Samprapte sannahite kale nahi rakshati dukrun karne. Dukrun karne is a grammar rule, Sanskrit grammar rule. I don't know what it means. I'm just saying it because we have heard it. But it is a grammar rule. That's all we need to know. And it is this at that time, how the context where this sloka started and the entire Bhaja Govindam started. There was a man, old man, you can say 85, 90, 95 also, he could be very advanced, a super senior citizen, 90-year-old man, sitting on the bank of some river, I think Ganga river or whichever river. And he was practicing grammar rules. Dikran karne. He was practicing that Sanskrit grammar rules. At that time, Adi Shankaracharya was passing by that river. He saw, who's this old man? He's so frail and he's going to, looks like he's going to kick the bucket at any moment. What is he doing? Dukran karane and all that. Then Adi Shankara felt so much compassion for him. And out of that compassion, he said, Hey, Mudha Mate, Samprapte sannihite kale nahi rakshati dukran karane. This dukran karane that you're chanting, maybe by saying this the next few minutes you could pass away also. You're that old. You're at this age, you're doing dukran karane. Doesn't mean that we should not learn Sanskrit grammar and all that. But at that age, at that advanced stage, when everything you're about to just leave the world, you don't know when you're going to leave. Ask any 60-year-old or 70-year-old person, when do you think you will be leaving? So, it can come any day. It can come today, tomorrow. In fact, that's true for everybody. But more so the older people, they know for a fact that any day it can come. Anytime the last moment can come. And this person is a super senior citizen, nearly 90-year-old man. He's on the verge of his last few days of his life, and he's practicing Dikran Karne grammar rules. So Adi Shankaracharya is basically telling him that what are you doing? This is the time you should be doing the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, chant that name. Om Namah Shivaya, chant that name. There are so many mantras in our Sanatan Dharma, and there is so much bhakti that can be done. You can do the Shravanam of the Bhagavatam, Parayanam of Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Those things you should be engaging in. What are you learning? Grammar rules. Because if you are going to perfect your grammar in the old age also, it is not going to be of any use to you. Whereas if you do the bhakti in the old age, the last few days of the last 15 days of your life, you were doing lot of japa you did. Don't you think that jiva will have a tremendous chance of going back to the Lord? Because the last impression is the most strongest impression, and that is going to be the impression of Bhagwan in the mind in the last few years of our life. Then Bhagwan himself says, when you remember me in the I think 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, he says that those who remember me at the time of death are sure to reach me. Of this there is no doubt, he says. He goes on to say that. Of this there is no doubt. And he also says, whatever you remember in the last moment, you will attain that. So if he's this person who's on the bank of the river, he's sitting and he's an old man, 90-year-old man is chanting, Dikran Karne, what will be his fate? So this is one literal meaning of this sloka, that in the old age, don't preoccupy yourself not just with Sanskrit and Sanskrit grammar, but with subject matters which are not going to be of any benefit to you in your afterlife. Very soon the afterlife is going to start. And at that crucial time, the last years of your life, suppose if I'm busy trading in the stock market, okay, or suppose I'm busy learning some programming language, or let's say I'm learning some skill or some art also, which is completely worldly, laukika in nature. You see, all these worldly subjects and all that, we had so much time all these years. Why didn't you do it at that time? Or whatever you did, you did. Now forget it. You're at the last stage of your life. So we should remember this, especially those of us who are, as we are advancing towards the last phase of our life, or if we are already in the last 60 plus and all that. Let us maximize spirituality and minimize laukika pursuits. Unnecessary laukika pursuits, watching TV serials and watching stand-up comedy shows and all that. In the youth, when these things are done, it's a different thing. Because, see, all said and done, even though death can come at any time, we understand that youth, this person, he has a long, we said he's only 20, he has a long way to go. So if a young person is watching some TV serial, he's watching IPL and all these things. But if a 90-year-old man is every day IPL match, Sunrisers Hyderabad versus Falana team versus Falana team. Every year they play the same thing. Every summer they play the same competition, the same sixers and fours. If the youth are sitting and doing this, to some extent it is understandable. But they must also, of course, do Bhaja Govindam and all that spirituality. Not that they are exempt from it. But if an old person, just think about it, a 90-year-old man, 85-year-old man, Tata, he's sitting. Morning he watched some Tamil serial, then afternoon he's watching IPL, then evening he's going to the club and he's drinking and all that. So his entire life, especially the last age, 15, 20 years, has gone in all laukika pursuits which have zero effect and zero consequence with regard to our spiritual growth and evolution. Rather, it could take us down to the lower realms, because whatever is the quality of a mind, to that realm we should go, to that such a realm. So we should not waste, especially the old age. In fact, the Shastras say the old age is the most important phase of a person's life. And rightly so, because that is the final chance we have. Okay, childhood I neglected Bhagavad Gita and all that because whatever reason. I was Balastavat Krida Sakta. That is also going to come in the later slokas. Then in the youth, I was busy with making money and, my girlfriend and this and that. So I didn't do Shravanam of Gita and all these things. Okay, no problem. Now you're You made good money also. You got a big bungalow, or you got a nice house also, and you're comfortable also. And yet, if you don't do Bhaja Govindam, you don't worship the Lord, what can be more foolish than that? That is what he's saying. Muda Mate, he's saying here. Muda Mate means deluded person. Mati means intellect. Mudha means delusion. So, Mudha, foolishness. Moha means delusion, but Mudha Mate, so foolish intellect, a perverted intellect, a corrupted intellect, foolish intellect. That he's thinking at this advanced stage also, he's busy with Dukran Karane, Dukran Karane. So at the last stage of our life, let us, at least at the last stage of our life, but throughout our life, let us satiate ourselves with spirituality, seek Govinda to the as a full-time occupation, so that we ensure by satiating our minds with Narayana and hearts with Narayana, our soul will gravitate towards Vaikunta or Kailasha or Goloka or Krama Mukti, and if not Jivan Mukti while living. So these are the things with regard. Now the other meaning of this Dikran Karane. So one interpretation is Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dikran Karane. Your grammar rules will not save you at the time of death. But many of the commentators do a second parallel interpretation of this sloka, that your secular achievements will not help you at the time of your death. We saw secular pursuits, Laukika Vidya and Laukika things that we do, especially in our old age, it's a waste, it's a total waste at that time. Now, secular, he's saying, going on to say that secular pursuits and secular achievements also are of no good to us in our spiritual life. We may be somebody may be a doctor and a famous doctor who's done so many surgeries, and he has got Bharat Ratna, or somebody's a cricketer, somebody is a actor, and he has got so many Filmfare awards and so many this thing, and recognized by the Prime Minister, got Bharat Vibhushan, Bharat Padma Vibhushan and whatnot. Now just think about it. That person, that actor, when he finally passes away, while living itself, after he's got the award, everybody goes back into their respective duties and lives, they forget about it. But after that person passes away, once his body is burnt, for that person, he has gone to the next realm. So it means nothing. All those achievements mean nothing to him. But even for the others, we all forget, isn't it? In 4 or 5 days, 1 week's time, everything is forgotten about how great, how much ever he or she might have achieved, is forgotten. Now, just to give an example, although it's not good to take names, I'm not taking in a negative way, in a positive way. Let's take the example of Lata Mangeshkar. Great singer. In this last century or last 2 centuries, she has been the greatest female singer in our Bollywood. Whatnot, from the Laukika songs, the Bollywood songs, to even Bhakti tradition, Bhakti songs of all the gods and all that, and awards and this and that, name, fame, money, everything she got. But, in fact, in the end, you won't believe, when she was in the last stages of her life in the hospital and all, and she was the last few days of her life, one journalist came and interviewed her. She said, they asked her this question, that in your next life, what would you like to become? If you have a next life, they said, Lata Mangeshkar ji, what would you like to become? Who would you like to become in your next life? She said, anything I'd like to become, anybody I'd like to become, except Lata Mangeshkar. Shocking. Not only shocking for you and me, the whole nation was shocked to hear this. When this video or whatever would have gone viral and spread in the YouTube and all that, everybody had this question, Are, what didn't she have? She had the money, she had the fame, and she was a righteous person, a dharmic person also. All the politicians recognized her. She won so many awards. She did so much. Great person, and charity and this and that. A fulfilling life. What more you want? Yet she said with her own mouth, it's there in her interview, I like to be anything but Lata Mangeshkar in my next birth. Look at this, the reality of these Laukika pursuits and secular achievements. They do not lead to that inner fulfillment. They give us once, it's like you're eating pizza. It's very, very tasty, yummy. For that few seconds, a few minutes, you really and thoroughly enjoyed the best pizza you've ever had. But the next day, when you're sitting in the washroom, you're not thinking, oh, what a lovely pizza. Oh, why I had that pizza, you think. Isn't it? So that is what it is. This is the reality of these everything, all the pleasures, and also the Laukika pursuits. She is saying with her own mouth, I don't want to be Lata Mangeshkar in my next life. And likewise, we have seen examples of some, Sushant Singh Rajput, who unfortunately committed suicide after having everything. He had everything. He was a Sushant Singh Rajput was a actor, young actor in the Bollywood latest generation, and he was not happy despite having everything, money, this fame, and all that, and all hit movies and all that. His credit, yet he was not happy, and he committed suicide. Like this, there are many cases of many people who, after getting so much worldly success, also they feel little incompleteness in the heart because the center has not been Narayana. The center has not been God. If the center of one's life is God, it is impossible for that person to be depressed or low. Forget depressed, even that lowness, that will not be there. That person, in fact, will be joyful, brimming with enthusiasm, positivity, because that is the nature of that name of the Lord. So much potency it has. It can, in Rama Nama Tarakam, it helps us transcend the path of birth and death itself. So then, what to speak of joy and sorrow? We'll get transcendental joy. Initially a sattvic joy, which we have not got from the rajasic and tamasic pleasures of the world. And then that sattva will get finer and finer and finer and finer. And as it gets finer and finer, the degree of joy keeps increasing and expanding. And then you share, you do seva. That seva brings joy, the satsang brings joy, the sadhana brings joy, the study of the scripture brings joy, the darshan of the guru brings joy. So that is what. But if we don't keep Narayana as the Krishna or God or Shiva as the center of our spiritual pursuit of our life, then we'll have this kind of a fate. That despite all secular achievements and wealth and prosperity, there will be something within us saying, Kuch to, I missed something in life. I don't know, somewhere I goofed up. I didn't do it the right way. But even whatever we have done till now is okay, it doesn't matter. Let us, now that we have come for the study of the Bhaja Govindam, and we have done it earlier also, all of us, let us affirm that from this moment on, I'm going to keep Krishna in the center of my life, and my rest of my life will revolve around Krishna. Whatever I do is for Krishna. I make money for Krishna. I watch a movie also if I'm watching for Krishna. If I'm doing any work, I'm doing for Krishna. If I'm cooking for Krishna. If I'm eating for Krishna, to maintain the body that Krishna has given. All the time, if we satiate ourselves with Narayana, then we will not have a depressing life despite all achievements. This predicament will not come to us. It will not be a part of our life. So this is the summary of this sloka. That worship, not just worship Govinda, but seek Govinda. First point, Bhaja Govindam means seek Govinda, make him the center of your life throughout the day, from morning to evening, in different ways. Try to bring Narayana into the activities. That is one thing. Second thing is, in the last stage of our life, we should not be preoccupied with learning grammar rules, Sanskrit. Didn't learn Sanskrit, chalega, doesn't matter. It's a language after all, it's a medium. Even though it's the mother of all languages, all that, however great it may be, it is a medium of instruction, it is a language. See, now we are discussing in English, we got the essence, isn't it? Even though we didn't go deep into one word meaning. So at the last phase of our life, post 60, post 55, 60 and all that, we should not preoccupy ourselves with Laukika pursuits and Laukika, things like, going to the club and playing billiards. But 20-year-old goes, it's okay. We have all done that, gone to play billiards and bowling and this and whatnot. We have also gone for both that snow bowling we used to play and all. It's okay. Billiards also and all that. But now the last phase of your life has come, as the Shastra says, the most modern focus on that. So that is the other thing. And also, finally, secular achievements, no matter how much we get, hundreds of awards we get, and plenty of wealth and prosperity and all that, good, we must get. But if we didn't keep Krishna in the center and achieve all that, Guaranteed. One thing is guaranteed. We will have some emptiness in our heart and we will not be satisfied. As we have seen examples, and there are more such examples. But if we keep Krishna in the center, then any achievement and every achievement, we will offer it all to Krishna. Sarvam Krishna Arpanam Astu. So that ego will also not come. And the satisfaction is anyway there because Krishna is the center of our lives. So this is the summary of this first sloka. Now we have about almost 18 minutes to go before the close. I was thinking we'll have guided meditation today. So now in this meditation, it's going to be very simple. Let us not feel that, oh, meditation and it's a big thing and all that. Yogis meditate and all that. Not only yogis, today we have World Yoga Day, we have World Meditation Day also, thanks to our Prime Minister Modi ji and his efforts. And so much so that everybody is practicing. Millions of people in America, Europe, Germany, the whole world is practicing meditation. And the best part is we don't need to have great qualifications for it and all. So basically now what we're going to do, it'll be a little bit of a contemplative style of meditation and a little bit japa will also be involved in that. And whenever I say, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect, you should think with respect to yourself, that you are thinking to yourself, right? That you are not the body. So I'll keep saying, I'm not the body. Means for all of us, respectively. Okay. So let us, in case we're wearing glasses, it's good to always remove the glasses and start. So let us close our eyes, and I will be just giving a few hints, a few pointers, which will help us go deeper to that self, that Atma Tattva within us, which is the spring of joy and the substratum of the whole creation of names and forms. So let's close our eyes. Let's just observe the natural flow of breath in and out of our nostrils. Let's become aware of the state of our mind. Let it be anything. Let it be a joyful state, a depressed state, and a restless state. Let's just accept our mind as it is. No resistance. Whatever is happening in the mind, we accept it as it is. I'm not the body, the physical body. I reside in the body. I'm not the mind. I am not the intellect that judges, that evaluates, that analyzes. I am the Atma Tattva, the soul, that merely witnesses everything that happens at the level of the body, mind, or intellect. I am a witness. I am a sakshi, blissful consciousness, a witness consciousness. I am eternally the same. Billions of years ago, I was Satchitananda Swarupa, pure consciousness. Today, I am Satchitananda Swarupa, the same pure consciousness. Billions of years down the line, I shall continue to remain Satchitananda Swarupa, the eternal existence without a change, without a disturbance, without a flutter. Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. Manobuddhyahankara chittani naham. न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न चक्राननेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायु चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda ji says, silence the mind and listen. That is the final state of meditation. Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi says, all that is required to realize the self is to be still. Whenever we feel complete, we may slowly and gradually open our eyes. What can be better than this? I want to have some feedback from both of you, Lakshmi Amma and Jay. Jay, how was the session and did you really like it and benefit?
Yes, yes, I liked it. Very much.
Okay. Jay, was it good? Did you like it? You were wanting to start meditation. I think this could have been a good starting point, or was it?
Yes, yes, it was very nice. It was very nice.
Yes. So this is how we can practice. Just suggest to our mind, I'm not the body, mind, intellect. The mere affirmation. Music, Louis Hay used to give a lot of affirmations that I'm not this body, mind, intellect, I'm spirit, soul. So along those lines, the more we affirm that I'm not the body, mind, and I'm pure consciousness, especially in the seat of meditation, we're taking it deep into our subconscious and really programming our minds to think differently, that I'm not this personality, but I am the pure consciousness.
Yeah.
And this way we practice. And as I said, those two quotes we can remember with regard to meditation. One, Puja Gurudev says, silence the mind and listen. That is the final state of meditation. That is one. And Bhagwan Ramana Maharishi says, all that is required to realize the self is to be still. That still, actually, Hemuji Uncles also says that this body and mind is related. If our body is still, then the mind also falls in place and becomes silent. And the more it becomes silent, the more the mind recedes into the background. What is left is only the Atma Tattva. And the more we dip into that Atma Tattva, we get a spiritual path kind of freshness.
Correct.
So it's our
Thank you very much.
Most welcome, Jay, and most welcome, Amma. I hope you benefited from the talk as well as from the meditation, guided meditation. And the more we every day, how long it took? It just took 15 minutes. 15 minutes, half an hour every day we do. We will get closer to our Narayana or Sadashiva or God or whatever. Whoever.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll just close with Purnamada. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.